So do you reckon the space race is more significant than the previous space race, the one in the 60s?
Significant. Like. Do you mean?
Do you think there's a bigger change occurring now, or will occur in the next, say, during this privatization of space? Do you think that's a more significant step than just simply getting into space?
I don't know. I think it probably will end up being like, in terms of like the amount of technology development that's going to happen between like the start of this commercial space race, and like not its end, but like where it's going to lead to.
Yes,
I think there's going to be a bigger like technological change than there was back in like the 50s, 60s.
Yeah,
but like comparing,
I feel like
going from like having never accessed space to like putting people on the moon.
Yeah,
is massive. Like that is hugely significant.
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah.
It's just a shame that it all sort of stopped after that.
Yeah, I feel like the difference here is that it's sort of like when people first discovered America or something. Like, the difference between explorers and then creating, say, the US.
Yeah.
You know, the difference is we're not just commercializing space. We're essentially moving into space.
Yeah.
And that's a more significant change than just pioneering it.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, that's a very good point.
But it's that doesn't take anything away from the pioneering years.
No, of course not. They were necessary. Like they are absolutely. You have to go through that.
Thing, really.
Yeah, it is. But you have to go through that part to be able to get to this part.
But in the history of humanity, I think this change that's happening now is a more long term.
Yeah. Okay. I'll go with that.
And probably more important in terms of its longevity and its effect on the population. Most of the other space race that happened, it didn't really affect humanity in the same way that this will.
No,
essentially what I'm saying. It's just the
it was a cool thing that was
obvious.
happening, and people could look up and see it and be like, you know, wow, that's cool.
It's very inspiring.
Very good for
technology development and stuff.
Whereas this is actually going to be opening up space for like
potentially everyone.
Potentially everybody.
Yeah.
Certainly for commercial exploitation, the likes of which we can't even imagine at this point. Yeah. And even, you know, colonizing Mars, moving forward into the future, like making the human species like multi-planetary, that kind of thing. Like, yeah. So in that respect, it is significant. And also this new like commercial space race. Suddenly, there's just no rules. You know, like companies can just compete on like a totally free market. Like there's no government that's trying to like tie them down and cut funding and all that kind of stuff. Like if they can make money, they can make money, and like that's it. Like that's the only sort of rule, is that they just need to keep making money. So that's really exciting about it.
Yeah, and that competition between the companies as well. Yeah, the fact that they have to be cheaper and better than their competitors. Yeah. Whereas that didn't really have to happen in the early days, because it was simply reaching a specific goal, however much it cost. Yeah.
So do you think that this event, this SpaceX like landing, so the fact that we now know that reusable rockets, or at least landing a rocket, is a thing that can be done. Yeah. Do you think that's a more significant event than landing on the moon? It's kind of a similar question to what we had before. But it was talking about...
But this is about a specific event, isn't it? No, I don't think it can be classed as that. Like, people are going to remember... This is, like, it's history that's been made. Yeah. But are people really going to remember it in the same way that they remember, you know, the Neil Armstrong setting his foot down on the... Yeah. Maybe that's... They're not going to remember it, but maybe that's not...
Maybe that's not what significant means. I mean, there's different sort of definitions. There's significant to, like, the kind of collective human sort of consciousness or collective memory or whatever. So in that respect, it's absolutely not going to be like as culturally impactful. No. But it might change things more. It might have more of a significant effect on like the future. I mean, as you were just saying, in terms of like opening up space, making it sort of accessible.
Yeah, you could argue that if this is the landmark moment of this particular,
if it is,
space race essentially.
I don't
know, but there's going to be other big
there will be
land. If you know, if there's a colony set on Mars, the first people getting there. I mean, surely that's the bigger step.
Yeah.
but because it necessitated so many other steps before it, including vertically landing a rocket. But so I wonder it's a longer, more gradational thing than like that flag planting kind of event that the moon landings were.
Sure. But I wonder if we will look back in decades or even centuries. Well, maybe centuries is a bit of a stretch, but certainly like several decades, 100 years from now maybe, and look back at like there was like a pivotal moment at the point where we started landing rockets. I'm not saying there will be in particular. I'm sort of just wondering out loud, like if that's actually.
Obviously time will tell, but.
Because it does seem like, I'm not saying that suddenly like from now on all rockets are reusable, everything, whatever, but there is a sort of a step change in
technology.
Well, in cost and technology, like enabled by this.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yes, I think it will be definitely remembered as a big change in this particular race. It's just that there will be other big changes, that may seem bigger. To the collective to the cultural zeitgeist, if you like. But there's no way this is going to get swept under the rug. I mean, this is a big deal,
and people know it as well. Like chatting to people who aren't really like aren't tend to be that day-to-day interested in stuff like space or science and stuff, and everyone knows about it. Everyone knows that it's a big deal, which is really cool. It was on the front page of the BBC website for the whole day at least.
Yes,
which is wicked.
But it will be bigger. Obviously, it will be bigger when people first land on Mars for
obvious of course.
reasons.
Oh yeah. It's gonna be awesome.
It's gonna be badass.